Dude, have you seen how small those things are? Like, if I was on a flight with, at least 50 other people, because that's the smallest number I think that was on 9/11, if I was in a cabin with 50 other people and 5 people, I don't care if they're Muslim or not, stand up with box cutters and say they're going to hijack the plane, I'm going to laugh in their face.
I mean, no, these pilots, and we interviewed Deborah Burlingame, whose brother Chick was the one who was supposedly flying that plane that went into the Pentagon.
Oh, that's right. I heard about that.
And, of course, she is a total shill for the Republican Party. She also spoke at the convention. And is it absurd that and she went on and on about how her brother was ex-military and how she knows that, her brother and the other pilots fought for their lives against these deadly terrorists with these box cutters. It is my religion to kill you with this box cutter. But didn't Rumsfeld say right after this happened that they had actually done this with plastic knives and not box cutters? Was that the first version of the story?
Yeah, he said that in the same interview where he said that a missile hit the Pentagon.
Oh, my God, he's got a plastic knife! Run!
He's got a butter knife from breakfast. Oh, no.
Take the plane, sir. We don't want any trouble.
He's going to scratch me a little bit.
Unbelievable. Well, that's exactly what we're saying. That's an underused term or overused term. Unbelievable. It is unbelievable.
It's absolutely unbelievable.
That's unbelievable.
What's even more unbelievable is how people will defend this to the
Hold on, Dylan. We got to go to break. We'll be right back with more news and information you're not supposed to know. Deadline Live. Stay tuned.
The other thing I didn't get to mention in the movie, which I'm going to, is a little kid by the name of Bernard Brown Jr.
Mm-hmm.
You guys heard about him?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, Bernard Brown Jr. is a 8 or 9-year-old boy who, on the morning of 9/11, was going on a National Geographic field trip with his class. And on that morning, his father, Bernard Brown Sr., who works in the Navy wing of the Pentagon, sat his son down and had a talk with him about death because his son was scared about flying on the plane or whatever. And Bernard Sr. was like, hey, don't be afraid to die because everybody's going to someday. And his son got on Flight 77. We know what happened to that. Well, actually, we don't know what happened to Flight 77, but we know what happened to Bernard. And Bernard Brown Sr., according to his wife, took an unusual day off from work to go play golf. Like, this is a man that never took a single day off from work. And after telling his son not to be afraid to die, he takes a day off from work to go play golf. And had he not been on the golf course, he would have been killed.
Huh. Very interesting.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Has anyone talked to that guy?
What's that?
Has anybody tried to question him?
Me and Phil were actually considering tracking him down and getting him on the phone just to, talk to him about 9/11, see if anything slips. But I think he was either deeply involved with it and, talking to him on the phone about it might not be such a hot idea, or, well, I think that, talking to him about sending his son to die might be a bad idea. Yeah. But since that article was published, that article was actually published by MSNBC. Since that article was published, I believe nobody's actually tried to contact him, and we actually haven't heard from him since.
Yeah. Well, Dylan, before we close the show.
Hello.
Hi.
I was just wondering about the men that there was a man on the Flight 93 in Pennsylvania that he was talking to his wife.
That's not true, ma'am. You're referring to Todd Beamer, correct?
Right.
Yeah, Todd Beamer never talked to his wife. In fact, he only talked to a Verizon operator for, 19 minutes, Dylan?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and she actually offered to patch him through to his wife, and he didn't really want to talk to his wife because I guess it wasn't all that important. And then his wife is the one that makes the multi-million book deal where Todd Beamer's having dreams of a plane hitting the White House.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what about the let's roll part?
It's a total joke.
It's fiction.
An American slogan to get us motivated to do something about terrorism.
It was a war cry.
People are on both flights. I mean, there's just so much information out there. I mean, the Barbara Olson phone call is suspicious in itself. It was said that she couldn't find her purse, so she couldn't call from the cell phone. So she had to use an Airphone. However, everybody who uses an Airphone knows that you need a credit card to swipe first so they can charge you. And she would have needed her purse to do that. So, again, these phone calls are very sketchy.
Well, honestly, the thing with the bodies and
Thank you, Dave.
and the people is we didn't say that those people are on those planes, and we shouldn't be the ones that have to prove it. The government is the people saying that these bodies and these people were on the planes. Come and show us some pictures, show us some body parts, show us some identification that these people, were actually there. And I'm not saying that a lot of these people, weren't alive or weren't real, but it just comes to the fact of there are no bodies there. So explain to us why not, because there's seriously a problem.
They want to crush our institutions, our landmarks, and kill our people. And through a lack of security, because we were, fat cats sitting here not really getting attacked on a huge scale, they found a way to get us. We were gotten by the enemy, not from within.
Sir.
Absolutely impossible.
How does a 47-story skyscraper fall in on itself?
I've seen so many specials on how the steel structure melted, the weight of the cement.
Are you talking about World Trade Center Building 7? Because I've never seen an explanation for it.
World Trade Center 7?
The FEMA report.
You know something? I don't think there's ever been tests done where buildings and planes and shit are flying all over. I would like to believe that it fell down in the mess of 2 planes and 2 buildings.
And speaking of that, we got Kevin. He's a retired NYPD on the phone. He actually watched Tower 7 collapse. Kevin, you're on with Corey Rowe.
Yeah, how you doing? I'm a retired policeman. I was stood there as we watched it collapse. Does he know how it collapsed? I want to ask him that.
Well, I've heard some of the officials...
No, you're wrong.
How the fuel tank supposedly caught fire.
Number 2 fell into it and took out the bottom section of it. And it stood sideways for 3 hours before it collapsed. Stupid. So don't tell me that somebody blew it up, you idiot. I watched it. It burned for 3 hours before it collapsed.
Well, I'm sorry, but you're wrong.
No, I'm not wrong. I watched it, stupid.
I do understand that the government's bad, man, and they do represent parental,
and that's, again, ridiculous.
It's not.
What party are you guys?
No.
What's that,
Are you a party? Are you affiliated with the Republican Party?
No. See, that's the problem. I'm
affiliated with being a human being that has some intellect.
I don't take one side on either issue.
Really?
Fatso, go ahead.
Hey, Corey, you're a fucking kook, man. Listen, if the government was involved in a conspiracy of 9/11, and just so they could have an excuse to invade Iraq, why wouldn't they go through the trouble of going ahead and planning the so-called weapons of mass destruction that they were searching for, just so they don't look like fucking asses? You're fucking.
That's a good question. Why not do it on foreign soil? Why wouldn't that work? Why not bomb an embassy? Why not bomb something where...
They have bombed embassies, man. You guys just don't know your history.
Oh, hold on. Wait, what? Don't tell me. The Marine barracks, Libya. Inside job?
I was going to say the call was awfully suspicious because they blamed Bin Laden, and then they gave Bin Laden construction the bid to put it back together. So
why can't you accept the notion that there are people of the Muslim faith, Arabs, that hate us and our way of life and want us dead? Why can't...
Listen, there are low-level Muslims all over that hate our way of life.
Low level? What about high level that have the potential...
Osama Bin Laden, why is it Le Figaro, the biggest paper in France, and then CBS both reported the guy was getting kidney dialysis on a U.S. base in Dubai? I'm not the one saying that. If this guy's so dangerous, why is he getting kidney dialysis from our armed forces?
Yeah, we heard about the kidney dialysis story. Another piece of crap.